Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking about the Fall 2025 Wellness Collection at Bath & Body Works. Now, this collection is including 3 fragrances. We have Milk, Rich Espresso, and then Honeycomb. We have seen some of these fragrances in the past, but I did want to do an in-depth video about the scent notes as they are starting to make their ways into stores. That being said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things Bath & Body Works, especially the body care, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right on into the video. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna sit on this side of the screen and put some images up right here, but our first fragrance is going to be the very viral social media one we saw a lot in 2024, and that is the Bath & Body Works Milk fragrance. Now, I feel like when people found out that this was coming out last year, either they were 1, very disgusted, or 2, very excited, as they thought this might be a dupe for a more higher end fragrance. Now, Milk, to me, I think you definitely need to get in stores to smell this one. This one has notes of sugared oats and whipped milk, so pretty simple on the scent notes, but I feel like this one really comes down to how it interacts with your skin chemistry. If you've been watching my channel for a while, or you're just on Bath & Body Works YouTube, you will know that sometimes the Bath & Body Works vanilla fragrances, or the ones that have like a milky note to them, can really smell kind of sour on off on some people's skin. Now, this has happened to me with Vanilla Bean Noel certain years, and with Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte. I remember the Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte of 2023 smelled so soured on me. It smelled absolutely disgusting. But this milk fragrance on myself, as this one has returned back in my store, and I've been going in and out of the store throughout this week, testing it, layering it with other things, I think this one is nice. It doesn't smell sour. It doesn't smell like it's gone off on me, but it definitely does have a pretty strong kind of lactonic feel to it. So this is one that I would definitely recommend going in stores and trying on yourself rather than doing a blind buy online. Now, I would say that this one is quite unique because the fragrance Milk itself, because of the notes of just the sugared oats and the whipped milk, it's nothing stand out-ish for me. If anything, this would make an awesome layering fragrance. If you're looking to add a little bit of that lactonic note or almost like a creamy frothy note to any of your fragrances to either dial them up or maybe smooth them out and soften them out a bit, if you have something super strong and punchy and you kind of want to add a creamy note to kind of smooth it out, I think that is the best case scenario to use this one for. Now, earlier I mentioned that a lot of people might think this was a dupe of a higher end fragrance. The higher end fragrance that I am referring to is Philosophy's Fresh Cream. That one is wildly popular at Philosophy, and when they heard that Bath & Body Works was coming out with a milk fragrance, they thought it could very well be a dupe. Now, in my personal opinion, Philosophy's Fresh Cream is one of 2 things. One, it's stronger because it is a perfume as opposed to the body mist. It has a higher concentration of the perfume oil, so it's just a stronger fragrance overall. 2, it's definitely sweeter. I feel that Fresh Cream really pulls more of the like sweeter, almost whipped cream, heavy cream with a little bit of sugar route, while the Bath & Body Works Milk is definitely more of like that oat milk, just slightly lactonic fragrance. So if you are looking at this as a dupe for the Philosophy Fresh Cream, I don't think you're going to find that in this fragrance, but I do think the Bath & Body Works Milk fragrance would be perfect for layering. This one I also believe does have pretty good seasonality. I think it's great for layering going into the fall and the winter months. I think it'd be really nice for even spring layering, especially with florals. If you maybe have a floral fragrance and you're not an extreme floral person, but if you had a kind of a creamy background note to it, you might like it a little bit more. I think the Bath & Body Works Milk fragrance has great seasonality. That being said, we're going to move on to the next one, which is Rich Espresso. All right, you guys, so the next fragrance we have is Rich Espresso, and I don't believe we've gotten this fragrance before in the Wellness Collection, although definitely correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. I'm having a hard time picturing if the brown bottle was the Coco Shea and the coconut, and we didn't actually have the Rich Espresso before, or if we've had the Rich Espresso. So I don't know for sure if this one's new, but something's telling me that I think this one is a new fragrance for this year. Now, that being said, this one has notes of dark roast coffee and hazelnut froth for a smooth, rich fragrance. This one has arrived in my store, and I'm going to compare it to also the new Vanilla Cafe, as we have 2 sort of coffee themed fragrances out on the floor right now, and I want to give you guys as much information as I can, if whether you're going into the store trying to budget or also blind buying online. So starting off with the Rich Espresso, that dark roast coffee really has sort of a strong presence in this fragrance. I feel like this one definitely has that traditional black black coffee. So not that there's like a bunch of creamer mixed in or whipped cream or more of like a caramel drizzle. This is much more of your dark roast, stronger, true black coffee fragrance. And that hazelnut froth is really just a background note to me on this one. Now, the other fragrance we have is the new Vanilla Cafe. And this one says it smells like a velvety smooth beverage that awakens the senses with fragrance notes of smooth espresso, whipped vanilla, and toasted hazelnut. So you can see right there, just reading off the scent notes, there's sort of similarities in the hazelnut and also it having either an espresso or a coffee fragrance. Now the Vanilla Cafe to me is definitely more of a beverage fragrance. So the smooth espresso is not as in your face. It's definitely more of like a blended drink type of vibe rather than a strong shot of black coffee or a true shot of espresso or anything like that. So for me, I do think that these are both really nice coffee fragrances. I'm not somebody who drinks coffee, so I've never really been like super wowed by the scent of coffee. It's not one of my favorite smells, so I won't be picking up either of these, but I do think you have two good options if you're on the hunt. If you are looking for something that's a little bit more wearable, I would say probably the Vanilla Cafe is going to be your best option. But if you really want that strong coffee fragrance that might be missing in a lot of your fragrances, or you want a really strong coffee fragrance as you have a lot of maybe caramel or vanilla fragrances, or even like raspberry fruity fragrances, I do think that the rich espresso might be a better option for you. But you guys, that wraps up the second fragrance. Let's move on to the third. All right, you guys, so the last fragrance that we're talking about is going to be the Bath & Body Works Wellness Honeycomb fragrance. Now, this fragrance is not new. It was available last year, and I feel like this one really did get outshined by that milk fragrance, but this one is really nice, and I think it is unique amongst the Bath & Body Works lineup. This one says it smells like a warm and comforting hug with fragrance notes of sweet shea and golden honey. So right off the bat, a lot of people thought this was going to be like that sweet, artificial, real syrupy honey that's almost sticky feeling. And I would understand if you live somewhere, especially where it's very hot outside, that would not be an attractive scent profile or fragrance for you. Like, I would not want to wear syrup or feel really sticky in my fragrance choice. I am happy to report that I do not find that to be the case at all with this fragrance. If anything, it's definitely warm and sweet, but pulls more of like an organic honey. It's not syrupy or sticky at all, and I think the wearability on this, honestly, year-round is really nice. A couple of things that you can do with this fragrance: you can definitely wear it on its own. I think it's nice, but it's not going to lean too much into gourmand or too much into sort of like a fresh and clean fragrance. Again, very similar to that milk fragrance. I think this one is going to be perfect for layering. Honestly, even thinking about it, I think layering the milk fragrance from this line and the honey fragrance from this line would give you a really nice milk and honey fragrance, which there have been rumors that they are coming out with a milk and honey fragrance a little bit into fall too. At least that is what was reported on Life Inside the Page. So we will have to see what is happening with that. But as far as these two fragrances go, I think they would pair really nicely together. The honeycomb really adds sort of extra added sweetness that the milk fragrance doesn't have. And the milk fragrance has that nice lactonic, creamy feel that would really balance out that honeycomb fragrance as well. Now, I do know that none of these are currently available on the website, but the honeycomb fragrance is currently available in the PocketBack. So maybe if they're having a PocketBack sale or you were intrigued in this one and you wanted to smell it now, maybe your coupons are expiring soon, I definitely think you could check in stores to see not only if they're carrying the product. I know a lot of stores are getting it in this week. Mine got it in way earlier this week, so I was very excited to go in and smell all of these. But you could order the honeycomb PocketBack if you really just needed a real quick, like, what does this fragrance smell like? Is this something that I would like in the body care? But you guys, that really wraps up this 3-piece wellness collection. I feel like the Bath & Body Works wellness collection is sometimes overlooked, as they really never have this in the front displays, at least at my store. It's usually in sort of like the middle of the space, usually on the right or left, so not a center display. But I think these are really nice fragrances. The majority of them would be nice on their own, but I really do think the milk and the honey fragrance are really suited for layering, especially if you are somebody new to fragrance, or you don't want to have a lot of fragrances. Maybe you already have a bunch of florals, but you're like, man, I really wish I had more gourmands, or I really wish there was a way I could make these a little bit sweeter. Having milk and honey and then pairing them with a bunch of different things, I feel like would be a great way to get a bunch of new fragrances without having to buy individual bottles of new stuff as well. But you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Found it helpful. Let me know if these are appearing in your stores. Hopefully they're all going to be in stores by the end of the week. I feel like that would be reasonable as a lot of us have them in store as of right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.